Hello, listeners. Chelsea K. Podcaster here. Welcome to today's podcast. So, now we're going to take on the challenges in life. This is the time when you need to confront the things that you're facing, the difficulties that you are dealing with. There are times when we don't know what to do, and we need help from others in order to pursue the right decision. Have you ever considered looking and reflecting on your past, the decisions that you made, even the challenges that you're facing now? How are you confronting the things that you have to deal with? Are you making the right choices when you're going through the challenge? Or are you shying away from it and feeling intimidated because it seems like a great difficulty to you? Well, there are times when we're tested. There are times when we don't really enjoy what we're doing and we just want to get through it and get it done and over with. But it affects our performance and how we do on whether we are working or not working. And others can see our progress and they may assume that we are this type of person, or they may tell us things about what they notice. Have you ever been in the situation where you're doing a job but you don't enjoy the job and all you're trying to do is to get the work done? You may not have the full desire to put your motivation there to do the best performance that you should do. And you may want to do things quickly. You may make mistakes, sometimes intentionally or carelessly, or other times unaware. And you may not know when you don't know something. Other times you might know that you're doing something wrong, but you don't want to take the chance to ask somebody because you feel some thought in your mind is bothering you. But people can see whether we know something or not. Sometimes they may be nice about it and give us opportunities to improve ourselves and give us a chance because they see we have the potential to get through it and to improve and to do better. But others may not be so considerate and they may give us one warning, and if that is past the limit, they may not want to give us another chance. How about in cases where the other party feels like they're always telling you something and you're making the same mistake over and over again? How do you deal with them when they confront you? Some people are kind enough and considerate to understand you, but others are not. And so when they see you and they hear your words, they may not believe you. It may give you great difficulty. They may give you chances, and when they can't handle it anymore, they will want to push you out. For example, if you are renting a place and your landowner or your roommate or the person you're paying the rent to has given you a number of chances and they cannot handle anymore, so they push you out. They evict you from their place. They give you time to move out, and after that, they don't have any more, and they really want you to be out. And they may push you and ask you questions. They may nag you and bother you, harass you, tell you all kinds of things, just to let you know that they want you out, and to make sure that you're out of their place. They may not care about the way they say it. They may think that they are righteous. They may think that what they're saying is the right thing. Even when they are wrong, they will not acknowledge it. And yes, you may have done mistakes, you may have done things wrong. But then, because of the way they're dealing with you, you may not want to respond to them. You may not want to accept what they're saying, and you will ignore them. So how do you deal with these kinds of challenges? Is your attitude still the same, or are you angry with the person? How do you react with them? Do you show them any consideration, Or do you ignore them? Or do you challenge them and confront them and tell them off? These are the types of decisions and choices people make every day. They face different things and different people and personalities. What kind of person are you? How do you handle challenges in life? How do you deal with people who are not in agreement with you, especially those who call you a liar, and people who say all kinds of nasty things about you behind your back, or even in front of your face, or even through texting or phone call or email? This is the world that we live in, and we don't always meet nice people. Sometimes we have to deal with people who are not so nice before the nice people are with us. And then when we have nice people around us, how do we handle the situation with them? Try not to be those types that take advantage of people who are kind and loving, because that's also not right. And also being a burden to others. How do you deal with people when you are struggling and you are in need? Are you independent enough to try to do certain things on your own without asking or requiring others to help you? There are people that are very dependent on others, and there are others who are more balanced. But there's also those who are very independent, who don't have a need for anybody to help them. Sometimes to the point that they're so self-sufficient that when something happens, they still don't want to have a person to help them, insisting that they can do it, even sometimes they cannot, but they still want to. So we have different kinds of people on various scales. So how do you deal with this situations? If you were a manager, how would you deal with your staff? If you have to deal with different types of challenging personalities, would you chide them? Would you discipline them? Would you gently correct them? Would you give them a warning? Or would you just fire them? So how is your attitude towards these people when they deal with you or you dealing with them? And how do you face difficulties in life with things that you don't know how to deal with, problems and challenges that are so difficult to handle? What about financial difficulties or decision making that you have to choose between what is the best option for your company in order to make the most profit and to eliminate losses? Accounting is not always simple when there are difficult decisions that need to be made that will cost money. And you may have to make more comparisons before you can make a decision. An accountant that knows what they're doing will always bring profit to the company. But what if you have an accountant that's still learning, that still isn't experienced enough? You still have to give them a chance to learn. And it's not easy because they will make mistakes and they have to learn somehow in some way and gain experience so that they can become experienced to make the right choices. And there's a difference between the Western world and the Eastern world and the way they do things. Sometimes certain places where certain people come from may be cheaters. You never know. Maybe people that know how to be cunning and smart, but they don't do things right. And there's the other group of people who do things right. They are not cunning, but yet they know how to respect and honor the company and their manager and their boss or whoever. And they help the company to be prosperous in their own way, even if it's not getting rich quickly. Many people want to be rich quickly, but usually these getting rich quickly opportunities are not good. And many of the people who are cunning will go after these ways to find and cheat people or to do something in order to gather more wealth. They find all the best ways that they can think of in this world to consider and to choose and do things based on that. And they find ways to make themselves richer than others, but at the expense of other people. Now you have the other types, which are the Western and Eastern mixture of people who have grew up in the Western world, but are also Eastern in their background. And they seek to be rich. And they may use a mixture of different ways in order to gather wealth. And sometimes the ways they go about is also not right, because the motive of their heart is after money. So which one are you? Are you the type of person who is going to do the right thing in a challenge that will honor other people? Or are you the type who's going to make the wrong decisions in order to make progress? And then there's consequences that will come and follow after. This you need to consider and do the right thing. Thank you for listening to Chelsea K podcast channel. I hope that you have a wonderful day, afternoon, and evening. Thank you for listening. If you like this podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. And also, you can check the description for more podcasts, more details there. And stay tuned for the next podcast. If you want to support this channel, please go to kayunkk@gmail.com by PayPal or e-transfer money through this method as well. Thank you so much.